Hello, everyone. It is Dr. Anna Kabeka. I am thrilled to be here with all of you today, and especially today to talk about something quite serious that's affecting all of us. And we have been talking about the coronavirus and what to do, how to protect ourselves, how to prepare, how to prevent, right? And then conditions of what we need to do to optimize treatment. All through these days, I can't believe it's day 12. Yesterday, I called yesterday day 12, but it's actually today is day 12 of my 21 days to Easter, being with you in community and lovingly here to support you and help you along in your journey. Let me just make sure my mic is good. You guys all hear me okay? Yeah, perfect. All right, thank you. So it is good to be here with you guys. And so today I'm going to talk about trauma. I'm going to talk about trauma and grief, and specifically what we are doing to get through it. So I'm going to talk about 5 key steps to overcome this trauma, to walk through it. There is a favorite child story that I love. I bought it in England years ago when my children were small, and my oldest children were small. And it's the story of we're going on a bear hunt. We're going on a bear hunt. And this, as the story goes, they face obstacles like tall, leafy grass or yucky mud. And they say, oh no, well, I can't go over it. I can't go under it. Oh no, I have to go through it. And that is the stage we're at. And I talk about grief and trauma and PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, as well as post traumatic stress resilience. And that's what I'm here to help you guys do. We're exposed to trauma. We're going to overcome it. We're going to avoid pitfalls and traps. And we're going to do this coming out through the other end, healthier, better, more resilient, more loving, and feeling more loved than we are at this moment right now. So I put my stamp of my guarantee on that statement. So continue to walk with me during this time. I am very keen on being here to help each and every one of you transition. So I'm going to go through 5 steps, and we're going to discuss, what do you know to be true at this moment? Where I direct my thoughts is the direction I will go, knowing that second step. Third, my habits create me or break me. And fourth, I will awaken an inspired feeling in someone else. Giving is life giving. And fifth, I will feel prepared to deal with anything that comes my way. And we'll go into these 5 steps through this discussion as we talk about trauma. As this experience, we are feeling loss, maybe loss of freedoms, and for some more than others. I know that this is a time where many of us have already been, are being triggered. And I'm here to discuss this with you. And this is a serious subject that is met and open shamelessly and guiltlessly to discuss what's going on with you now, what you're experiencing. And we're in this together. I always say, there is no irrelevant question. A question that is asked is always one that someone else needed to hear the answer to, but didn't know the question to ask. So what you're feeling and thinking and how your body is reacting, what your mind is saying to you, how your spirit feels shadowed by this global public health emergency, this is trauma. This is a traumatic experience. Together, we are all experiencing a collective and an individual traumatic event. So I want to first acknowledge that and be kind to ourselves in this awareness. So breathe deep, really deep breathing increases vagal nerve stimulation, which increases the parasympathetic nervous system. So deep breathing and just, relax. I'm going to do that again. I think I need another deep breath because this gets into a serious subject and also my personal experience. I want to share a little bit with you today. especially because I'm your girlfriend doctor and I am here for you always. I'm going to take you through what I call your guide to keeping it together in this time of trauma. So these 5 steps lead to be the guide to keeping it together. Who doesn't want that, right? Just write in the chat box, give me a like, and let me know that you totally are into keeping it together during this time. So before I begin, I want to share with you just something very deeply and personal. I know all about trauma, and not just from a medical professional taking care of women and families that have suffered losses and diagnoses and pain and loss, but also as a woman who has suffered through it. What I see happening in the world today is a kind of grieving. We are grieving the loss of our former way of life, the isolation that we're experiencing, the curtailed activities, the prohibition of activities, and the underlying daily fear and anxiety. Now, we've lost something, but here's what I know for sure. The power of devastating loss can be overcome by the power of intentional healing. I know we can get through this together because I did. So before I go into these 5 steps, I want to check in with you and I want to read your comments, hear your comments of what you're experiencing now and what's going on. So I have my reading glasses with my blue light blockers on so I can see. Yes, and definitely share this. You can start a watch party from my Dr. Anna Cabeca Facebook page. You can't do it from my groups, but you can from my Facebook page at Dr. Anna C. Just get there, like my page, and share. Start a watch party, because I don't know if you think anyone else needs a guide on keeping it together. Maybe you think the people in your life are together, but sometimes under the surface, we're just barely holding it together. And I wanna share that with you. Um, uh, Facebook user, it doesn't say your name, but I turn to the Lord from which my help, hope, and strength comes. And me too. Me too. Aaron said you can get the book right now. Right now, Keto Green 16 is available for pre-order. I'll put that banner in and you can pre-order it from anywhere books are sold, but definitely go to dranna.com/keto green in order to get all the book bonuses with the book. And so thanks for bringing that up. We definitely want you guys to stock up. We've been going through our 10 days of Keto Green masterclass in my Keto Green community group. So definitely join us there. Clients had mostly fears about finances. I hear that. Mary says, my cortisol is spiking again at 4 to 5:30 nearly every morning. I'm missing my normal 7 hours of sleep. Isolation, even though I'm a flight attendant still in the public, but people not socializing. Cindy, I want to hear more about that. I hear that. I think that, even though we're in isolation, we can look at people, we can smile, we can wave at a distance, and even more so now, right? We're not enemies to each other. And even more so now, being able to share a kind word, a kind smile, challenge for 3 positives. Catherine Goulet gave us challenge for 3 positives. And I'll talk about this in the getting through guide. So let me just check in with you guys and how you're doing. Missing seeing my grandchildren. They bring me such joy. And great. Thank you guys. And I know this is a challenge, and especially feeling isolated, even when surrounding with people. And in my book, The Hormone Fix, I talk about the cortisol oxytocin connection disconnect and how real that is. So let's go into my guide to getting it together. You guys want that? Did you give me some likes here? Give me some likes. Definitely share this. And let's talk about my guide to getting it together. So keep getting it and keeping it together, right? Your guide to keeping it together. So here we go. The first step I mentioned is, what do I know to be true at this moment? So if you guys are listening live here, just put in the bottom of your comment box, what do you know to be true at the moment? So check in with yourselves. and just write something down. Just take a second. What do you know to be true at this moment in your body, in your mind, and in your spirit? Truth, we are beautifully and wonderfully made. That's number one. We are beautifully and wonderfully made. Our body is tremendously resilient. We have a tremendous amount of resilience in our body. Absolutely. It is designed when we're sleeping to regenerate and repair. On a daily basis, we are turning over old cells, creating new cells. In 72 hours, our GI tract completely regenerates itself. We know that our brain is neuroplastic. We can recreate brain cells and pathways to promote even higher levels of intelligence. That's what we know to be true at this moment with our body. And in our mind, we know that our mind is so incredibly powerful over our body. And this is really critical. Where is our mental atmosphere at this moment? And our mind too. We know that it's so powerful. And in our spirit, that when we focus on all that is good in our lives, and when we fast and pray, that we have a higher connection. We have a higher connection to spirit. And within each of us, we are energetic beings. And that for me, that energy is tied into the Holy Spirit. So within us. And our body is the temple of our spirit. And I won't ever forget that. So what do I know to be true at this moment? We know that our body is strong and resilient. We have a solid mind and an energetic body that is capable of anything we desire it to be, and incredibly capable of healing itself. Agree? Yes. Great. I'm loving the comments here. Thank you. Okay. So that's number one. And for you to write down too. Now, number two, where I direct my thoughts is the direction I will go. And this is really critical. We talk about the mental atmosphere. Where we think, how we direct our thoughts is the direction that our physiology will go. And I always read you guys Philippians chapter 4, verse 8, that says, whatever is noble, whatever is true, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good report, think about these things. And focusing, even in this time, looking for the silver lining moments, focusing on the physical lining moments, and thinking in a positive way. We think of our mind, the direction of our thoughts, as a dial. As thoughts start coming in, analyze them. Are these fear-based thoughts? Are they love-based thoughts? Is this an action I'm taking based on fear, or is this an action I'm taking based on love? And that's a critical importance to start discerning where are these thoughts coming from, and how critical it is to shift the direction of our thoughts to be focusing on love and in a positive direction. If we're using negative terminology, we need to change that. We need to shift it to the positive. And maybe you guys can give some examples in our chat room there of some thoughts you're having and how you can reframe them to be shifted. So, for example, I'm fearful of my children being sick. Well, what I know to be true at this moment is that they're healthy and they're strong, and we're following the precautions, and they are well loved, and they know they're well loved. So you can set the reality in place of the fear, a love-based reality in place of the fear. And that will certainly will improve your physiology and give you peace, the peace that surpasses all understanding, which I pray for each and every one of you. And so another example, maybe, let's see what you come up with an example in here. I like that Cindy wrote, positive thoughts smooth the path of the day. They absolutely do. And another person wrote, I know we will make it past this, especially with talks like this, keeping us focused. Awesome. Thank you. All right, guys. So So where you direct your thoughts will go. Write down, get a pen and paper out right now if you haven't already, and start writing this and start writing down the thoughts that are coming up and slash through the fear-based thoughts and rewrite them to a positive thought. What do you know to be true at this moment? Based on love, what is a reframing of this thought? So you can think, well, and it's easy to do, like, oh my gosh, this headache, is it coronavirus? This temperature, is it coronavirus? Or what's going on? Is this person walking by me, you know do they have coronavirus, and am I going to catch that? You have to dispel, like a force shield, those thoughts. You have to create a force shield around you that is positive and protective and also encouraging and loving. So think of force field thoughts that are that hedge of protection around you as well. Okay. So, third is, my habits create me or break me. So, we have to right now design a new way of being. So, the first week into coronavirus quarantine, because I brought my daughter back from Holland, so basically quarantined with her for 2 weeks. And so during this quarantine and with school out, I work from home anyway with full days, like 13-hour days right now in the middle of book launch, but now having homeschool responsibilities with work responsibilities and team responsibilities. That was a challenge in recreating the habits, because we used to get up at 6:30 in the morning and go work out. My 12-year-old and me would go work out with a group of friends, and we did that every morning. And so, really missing that. So what's the new habit that will help create you or break you? Because that first week, believe me, I too just wanted to cuddle up on the couch or in bed and read a good book and drink a good glass of wine. Certainly, that is habits that can be good for a very short window, but in the long run, they will break me, and they absolutely will break me. So, what are good habits that will create you? Creating a new schedule, drawing it on the wall, putting stickies around your home to help you frame your positive self-talk and keep a positive image. So creating new habits that are supportive of you, supportive of your new way of life and new way of being. So think of movement activities. What is your routine? And now when I'm not live and when I'm not doing podcasts that are recorded on my good mic, I am doing my team meetings on my walking treadmill. One day I was on my treadmill for 5 hours walking. Typically it's about 60 to 90 minutes on the treadmill a day, but the first week I'd completely not done that. So now it's a routine that every day I'm on the walking treadmill, for the conversations that I have to have at my computer that are not on video like I am right now. And I will do one with you guys on video though. I do promise that. So that's one thing. And let's see. Nourishment is another one, like alkalinizing my body. I have gone back to checking my urine pH every time I use the bathroom. My urine pH test strips are tests for ketones and pH, and there's 50 loose in there and another 50 in a foil bag. Someone told me they were just throwing them away. They didn't realize that foil bag wasn't a desiccant. No, there's 100 urine test strips in our bottle, and there's 50 loose and 50 in the foil bag so that they stay fresher longer. So checking my urine pH, alkalinizing has been key, because I can tell when stress is getting the best of me, my urine pH goes very acidic. And so alkalinizing food, nourishing food, keeping up my high quality keto green diet and lifestyle. And if anyone's listening and is not familiar with keto green, definitely join our keto green community and check out my website as well at dranna.com. And then what's another one? Hydration, drinking plenty of water. Typically, I'm drinking water with a scoop of Mighty Maca or a little twist of lemon or just plain clean water. I'm going to take a sip now. And if you guys have water next to you, take a sip as well. How do you know you're well hydrated? When you use the restroom, it's clear. It's completely clear and of the lightest yellow. that, very, very light yellow and very clear. Typically around 60 to 80 ounces of water, depending on the environment you live in, your body type, and your activity level. But a good rule of thumb is that it is clear when you pee. That's just an easy way to make sure you're well hydrated between meals, not with meals. So my habits create me or they break me. Stay well hydrated. Another habit that will create you or break you is sleep. As uh, one of our ladies said, she's now cortisol is making her wake up and she's not getting enough sleep. And stress affects our cortisol, will give us a very restless night's sleep. And so increasing our sleep quality is critical and is a huge improvement to our quality of life. And so use some of the sleep tools that I share on my website and I've shared in earlier lives as well, but definitely getting a good night's sleep. Those sleep habits are sacred, creating your nighttime ritual to support you and help you. Another habit that will create you or break you is how you consume your information. You have to limit your news cycles. And I would say you check in on a daily basis, but at night, do not have conversations, discuss business, but watching the news is going to spike your cortisol and you will not sleep well. That can increase your anxiety. So, at the risk of being shut down by all major news stations right now, I'm going to tell you to limit your news cycles, consume it only in bite-size amounts and limit it to once or twice a day. Okay. And not late at night, definitely not after dinner time. That will distress your digestion. Another habit that I've been doing is getting out into nature. And the last 2 weekends, I spent Saturday night swinging in a hammock out in nature. And yeah, would I have liked a five-star hotel? Absolutely. But what's better for my body? It is definitely grounding in nature, going to sleep after the sunset, sitting around a fire, and also, just being able to enjoy time outside in nature with people you love, looking up at the stars and waking up with the sunrise. So, does anyone else? This is the first time in my life I've hammock camped. Listen, I'm 53 years old. I am not a camper, but let me tell you, I know that it's the quickest way to decrease cortisol, to alkalinize my body, to get me connected to nature. So, we want to do this. The fourth step to keeping it together is this statement: I will awaken an inspired feeling in someone else. I will awaken an inspired feeling in someone else. I hope I am that for you because I can tell you that you are that for me, that you are showing up here and that you care enough about yourself and those you love to take in information in a positive way that will help support you and hopefully give you another glimpse at the next right step to supporting your body, your life, your family, your community. And that's really true. We heal ourselves by healing others. We heal ourselves by healing others. When we do this, we increase oxytocin, the hormone of love, bonding, and connection, the most powerful hormone in our body. So I encourage you to get outside of yourself by providing some emotional support for others in your life or a random stranger. So inspire someone else. You have so much to inspire. And the women in my community, I always say this is a wise army of women that are inspiring others and that are leaders and are being encouraged. I am encouraging each of you listening to follow these principles and to give into yourself love, forgiveness, nourishment, kindness, and then to overflow into others in that order. Okay. Another thing you can do is like we are right now, virtually connect, phone call, text, connecting with people you love, connecting with your people makes a difference. Connecting with the people that are on the front lines, the doctors, my colleagues that are on the front lines right now, the nurses, the ancillary staff, the practitioners, the coaches, those in the health field, our law enforcement, our emergency personnel, our first responders, firemen, police, just name them, right? Our EMTs, all of them are providing our military. Reach out to all of those that you know in this field, in these fields that are supporting you, protecting you, and providing help in so many ways right now. So encouraging you first, nourishing yourself and overflowing into others. And that has a dynamic way of filling you up and keeping you full. So what you give has tremendous amount of meaning and value beyond the act. So I encourage that. The fifth step in my guide to keeping it together is embracing this statement. I will feel prepared to deal with anything that comes my way. I will feel prepared to deal with anything that comes my way. So I want you to assure yourself and everyone around you, okay, take this moment to gather up all those loose threads in your life and put everything in order. So I did. I got my children together, my 4 daughters together the other night, and I went over my living will. I went over my, the, you know, I want to be cremated. Something happens to me. I want to be cremated. These are my medical decision makers. I gave my dear friends that are my medical decision makers, and I gave an outline of the plan for my life and my living will and my power of attorney. I let them know who that was. Like, get your shit together, right? We need to be prepared. And this is just about that self-confidence. What is that? When the more prepared we are, the less we'll need to be that prepared, right? So we need to be prepared at this time. And so for me, feeling prepared that, okay, my kids know what my plans are, what my wishes are, should, God forbid, something happen to me. And so we had that conversation with them. I had that conversation with them as well. And then it's not so scary. And then it's really not so scary. And so it's important to have this conversation. So take a moment to gather up any loose threads in your life and just put everything in order financially. That's a really big one, certainly financially. And then planning and budgeting and sitting with a family meeting and saying, okay, these are our wants and these are our needs. And now let's go to only our top needs in our life right now. And let's discuss it. And then everyone's on board at the same time. I think that's really important, that everyone around you that you love feels prepared too. And that's, for me, it's my daughters, it's my employees, and it's my clients, that you guys feel as prepared as possible as well. So this is a journey that we're on, like no other journey we've ever been on in our entire life. And that the more that we are focusing on this together, we're in this together, this great community that we've created, the overall better health we are going to have, the more resilient we will have. So the 5 steps, I'm going to say them again, and I will be sure you're on my email list, because I'll be giving this guide in further detail to all of my email subscribers. So the 5 steps: what do I know to be true at the moment? Write down what's true for you. Number 2, where I direct my thoughts is the direction I will go. Number 3, my habits create me or they break me. And write down your habits that create you. Focus on those. Number 4, I will awaken an inspired feeling in someone else. And number 5, I will feel prepared to deal with anything that comes my way. Till tomorrow, I'll be doing live Q&A, and I'll see you then. Thank you guys for being with me today. God bless you. Be sure to share this episode and continue posting your comments. And I'll see you tomorrow, 4:30, live Q&A. Thank you.